All right, y'all. So look like we got about who we're gonna have. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and get started. So everybody feeling good today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
sir.
Yes,
right,
sir.
cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool. So we're gonna talk about three things, three different subjects today. Um it's something I'm gonna make videos about later on, but just kind of want to go over it with y'all just to kind of give y'all a little bit more tools in y'all tool bag. So first thing first, I'm gonna talk about let's see, we're gonna talk more about liquidity, all right? So we got the monthly highs, right? We got monthly highs, weekly highs, and like monthly lows, highs and lows, weekly highs and lows, daily highs and lows, and then we got Asia range, right? So we got all these liquidity points. So if the month, if we have the monthly, the high of the month, the low of the month, one of these is going to be targeted liquidity, right? So we're going to have to take liquidity from either the highs or lows of this month. Same thing for the week, same thing for the day, same for Asia high. All right. Y'all probably seen it today. It takes a little bit of liquidity from Asia high or Asia low. And then you'll get, our strong high, our strong lows, and we'll start targeting other liquidity points. So this is something to look out for, something to look to really be mindful of. Because we want to take the liquidity. Once we take the liquidity, that point could be considered strong. And as long as you get your confirmation, then we can start entering trades, right? Another thing we're going to talk about is the weekly cycle. So typically is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday is typically a consolidated day, which as of lately has kind of been trending, right? Normally Tuesday will make the high of the low of the week, right? Wednesday either make the high or the low of the week, or a continuation of Tuesday. Thursday just seems to be more of a continuation day, and then Friday could either be the pullback day or it could actually be the complete reversal day, right? And then Monday will start the same thing. Tuesday will make the high, takes out the liquidity, right? Taps into a strong high, strong low. Wednesday be a continuation, right? And then so forth, so on. All right, and then the last thing I'll be going over, let's see. I want to do weekly highs, weekly lows. Oh yeah, something we call they call it build up or whatnot. So it's typically when the market is, let's say the market is doing this, right? Right. Well, typically the market is creating some type of trend line until it taps into a certain OB. Then the market will then reverse, right? And then it creates another trend line going the opposite way again until it taps into a certain type of OB and then it turns around again. All right, you just call it trend line. People call it a build up, but both of it the same thing. It's just building up a trend line. So typically, you probably seen that you could get very decent trades that end up being in the trend, right? Something like this. And then the market finally taps into some type of OB that causes the market to then go higher. And then it goes up into higher till it taps something that's actually strong enough, was typically a strong high in this case, turns the market around, and then it continues to go down. This also is what we consider like internal, external, right? So I know not everybody here that understand the internal, external stuff or strong high, strong lows. I know we got some new people here, but all that stuff is going to be brought up to y'all, and y'all gonna get caught up. Excuse me. All right, so that's the three things we're gonna go over today. So I'm gonna take us to the charts, and you kind of see I've been kind of doodling all over this, all over here. So first thing first, we're gonna just talk about strong high. Not strong high, strong lows. The liquidity portion, previous days lows, previous days highs. So you can see the start of the week. we take the previous high of the week, right? And after we take the previous high, as you can see, if I do this, let's do this instead. All right. Did I get that right? Didn't turn off, that's why. All right, so this period separators are marking up the whole week, right? So each section is a week. So you can see that we have down here the low of the week, the high of the week. And you can see we take out the liquidity from out the high of the week, and we started on Monday. So Monday has actually started the high of this week at the moment, and we work our way down. As you can see, we take out some liquidity, and then we continue to go up higher to take out the high starting the week off. Again, we got the actual high of the week, right about, I guess we could call this the high of the week from the Asia standpoint. And this is the low of the week. And you can see we just took a little bit of that liquidity from the high starting Monday. And now we're starting to make the down move. Most likely, probably just going to take out some liquidity down here, or maybe even here. Depends on what the market want to do. You can see that we might have already had balanced the market, and we swept some liquidity. So maybe somewhere in here, but we can potentially see us maybe go lower and then continue to go higher. Or if we take out the low of the week, then we may start seeing more lows of the weeks, lows coming in the future weeks or whatnot. Same thing goes for the daily. All right, so this is my daily separators. We're gonna take out liquidity. As you can see, both sides, where it takes liquidity from the high of the day and the low of the day. And this is just liquidity being taken, and then you see a rejection from those areas. And that's just because it's just liquidity between the days. So day high, day low, we take our liquidity out the high and the low, then we continue going up higher. You can see that we took liquidity out the low first, and then that just gave us enough volume to push the market up higher, right? We had a little bit of the highs being taken here. Liquidity, all the stuff still relates to our strong highs and strong lows, but it's just a bigger picture to look at for inducements or just liquidity being taken and directional purposes. Okay, everybody clear with me so far?
So if you take like the Asian high, your next target is the Asian low, if I understand it right.
Well, that could be a target for partials. I know a lot of people talk about just they taking the liquidity out the Asia high and then target the lows.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But our target is still strong highs and strong lows, right? So, like for instance, from here,
got you.
Yeah, so like for instance, from here, like we took out Asia high and we started trading. But if we look at the bigger picture, right, you can start to see that we needed to be balanced right here. Just for temporary target, right? We need to be balanced here. We have all this imbalance, so it's just not efficient. It's just inefficient pricing. Excuse me. But inefficient pricing. So we're going to target that inefficient pricing, and we're going to make it efficient. Just like how we made it efficient, now pricing is efficient. We start going back into inefficient pricing.
Okay.
So Asia range is a partial taking area. Like it could be your target. Like all that stuff is your preference where you want to TP and all that stuff. But even if I got rid of let's say I got rid of Asia range, what's it 15 minutes? You still see your targets, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So you really don't need Asia range. Asia range is just an identification. Sometimes to point out a strong high, strong low, or just point out that Asia is actual liquidity or like the inducement. So you might have something like this high, this low, make this high. Well, this might be Asia today. So Asia low get taken, and then we could go up higher, which is what creates a strong low, correct?
Yeah.
All right. But then sometimes it'd be quite the opposite. This could be the inducement, and this would be Asia, that created a strong high, and then Asia gets swept. All right, Asia could be here. Asia could be the actual inducement, the thing that takes out the inducement and then continue to go up higher. So Asia, it could be either liquidity to be taken, or it could be actually the point that does the take of the liquidity. So don't just assume that Asia is just a liquidity point, because you'll see sometimes Asia actually have we have strong Asia. So if I could find one, like maybe right here. Like Asia right here, you see Asia takes out liquidity, and now we have a strong Asia high, and now we're actually was able to trade off of Asia high and start trading downwards. Yeah, Asia could be strong sometimes.
Okay, got you.
Right. So yeah, so previous months, weeks, days, all that could be a target liquidity. As you can see, even today, right?
Sorry to interrupt. What time do you have your Asia range?
From this is 1600. All this
Which
is
is
central time for me.
Okay.
So that's 4 o'clock central, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
Yeah, and I think this one is, I want to say this is 2400. Let me pull it up. Because I said this, but yeah. You can just put 17 and 1.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, so like you can see today, not only that we took Asia low, right? Asia low is one liquidity type, but also it took take out the low of the day. So this is yesterday's low. We took out the liquidity out the low, and then that's how we was able to see some entries, right? Some of y'all caught some EU buys today, I believe. Yeah. So we not only that, but we have what liquidity right here on the 5-minute, right? We had the strong low, which is just a candle, but a strong low. Market comes straight into that area, which I talked about. We're going to talk about these buildups or these trend lines, but we built up into that POI. That POI is right below the low of yesterday's low, and then that gave us enough liquidity to take and fuel to start pushing the market up higher, but not too much higher, because what on 15-minute we have a strong push up, right? So this is our strong push up, taking out liquidity on both the previous day's high and a swing high. So we took out 2 liquidity points, and then we broke structure, right? And this will be that order block, right? We take out some liquidity at Asia high. We tap into something that's strong right here, which gave us a reaction for us to take a trade and go down lower. So those are your liquidity points that we're looking for, like those areas. So start paying attention to your previous week's highs and lows, daily highs and lows, and then pay attention to the Asia range. I know some of y'all may not use the Asia range. You don't necessarily have to, but it is a nice little indicator that gives you something to look at as far as a target. Excuse me. All right. So now we'll get into the trend lines. Yeah, we're gonna go into the trend lines. So basically they call them buildups, or they're just regular trend lines. So you can see here we had a strong high, which we all agree this will be a strong high, correct?
Yeah.
Strong high. Market comes down, low high, build up. This has to tap into something. So we see that this is our strong high, right? We just tap, all we do is just tap into the breaker block, right? All right. And then we start building up, right? We left this big gap, which normally have to switch time frames or whatnot, but you see the break, the high, instantly liquidity, and then we build up into this area. So this trend line, this whole time you have this trend line you can actually trade, all right? It's only good for a certain amount of time, all right? It's only good for a certain amount of time. We just building up liquidity. So You can imagine everybody see this trend line, retail see this trend line, and even smart money see this trend line and they can trade, right? So you can see that we do have strong highs here. We have liquidity being taken, a direct mitigation, and then we have what? Liquidity, right? And then we take out the liquidity, and then we go on by our business, and then we create more liquidity. And I mean, this don't tap anything, but then we continue going down. We built the trend line. The trend line is built all the way until it tap into something that's strong enough to push the market up the opposite way. All right, as you can see over here, we had a 5-minute strong low. The market taps, and we just play the reaction. So the market continues to go up higher until it taps something strong enough to get the reverse. So that's why this would be a good entry point to take, because again, this could be a hedge or it could be a full trade. This is something that I'd be looking like to go lower, right? Of course, what I always say, right? Take partials, correct? Right? Everybody good on that? Everybody know about taking partials, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes, yes.
taking partials is important because to me, I'd probably say, okay, Asia high will seem strong. We had another strong point, so I'll be taking this entry, thinking that I'll be going to take this low. Right or wrong? Most of us will think that way, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's good to take partials because what happened? Market came, did another build up, and then we can't just ignore that this is a strong low, right? We have a low high. This low takes out liquidity, and it came from already coming from tapping into this OB. This OB was strong enough to create a new strong low, and this low has the last buy to sell. Then we break out and we create liquidity. Excuse me. Take out liquidity, and of course we probably would have took an entry here off a breaker block, which would have been fine if you'd have took a trade there. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things are not wrong. Market could be a little choppy, but nothing wrong with this, right? 1 to 5, you could probably take some partials there, and then obviously you'll be looking to take out the highs. But this would have been stop loss break even, but you would have took some partials, so you'd have been good there, right? Then we tap into the final last area, our last POI, which is one of our candle formations, right?
Yeah.
Right. So boom, take a trade there.
What do you mean candle formations?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Why is it a candle confirmation down there?
We'll have to go over that with you, man. I'm gonna make like I said, I'm making some videos on some stuff you may not went over yet, because some people been here longer than you, so they understand what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm doing videos, so everybody can catch up and have something to watch on their spare time and whatnot. So just bear with me. I am going to send that inside of the chat as well, like a PDFs and some of those candle pattern confirmation.
Yeah, great.
Cool. All right, so as you can see again, we drew a trend line. You know, once you have who this is, I don't know what that's called. All right, anyway, once you have 2 points, right, you draw your trend line, you adjust it. We just have a trend line. The trend line goes into what? Another OB, correct? So candle formation, OB is strong enough to do what? Push the market up high, right? So again, you could have got an entry there. It's a strong low. Still had expectations of maybe this trading lower, but once you get a reaction like this, you just want to pay attention. We still had a strong high up here because what this is our low. We push the market up high, we break inducement, right? So we could expect to take a sell right here. Again, same stuff, right? There ain't no reason to be really taking big losses, anything right here. If you were to take partials, took partials right here, 1 to 3, which I probably highly doubt some of us will, because you know we're a little greedy. So
Man, I would take everything at this point.
So yeah, so we'll definitely be aiming for lows again, right? Because we have a strong high. We expect strong highs to push down into these lows. Again, we had somewhat of a strong low, right? We had this low strong, create a high. We had a direct mitigation. You can see that this did sweep some liquidity right there, and then we pushed up. This is another liquidity point. So if you was paying attention to this build up, again, trend line, right? You can see this trend line being created. The trend line taps into our order block, and this is what projects us back going up higher. So something just to watch out for, draw your trend lines. It's just typical trend lines, but we call them a build up or whatnot into an order block that's strong enough to push the market high. Still revolving around strong high, strong low. Like the strong high, strong low thing, like the foundation of it all, because it's like that's where the money is being transferred from, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, could have took that trade. If not this trade, you still would have had this trade running, right? Leaving runners. And then maybe you would have realized maybe on a higher time frame that we had this breaker block, right? We had this breaker block, and on this breaker block, we still had something that lies right here. Again, we had a break, a high, a break lower. Now Asia did sweep this high, but it didn't tap anything that was relevant. So we have this strong high, right? As we can see, if I just draw this all the way out, boom, strong high, break down, never been retested, so it's not balanced. Market comes to the strong high. All right. Now again, trend line. This trend line is drawn. We are building up. As you can see, we build up to the trend line, something strong enough to keep it pushing. So now we have a trend line that end up leading us into a breaker block that causes a move to happen. All right, there's your strong high, taps into another strong high. We break structure. We have a liquidity, our inducement high right here. We have some liquidity that we need to take out. And then again, we make our low. We could draw another trend line. Trend line goes into what? Another order block. I think this was on a 5 or 15-minute time frame. Yeah, 15-minute time frame. All right. All it is just a buildup. That's all it is. So it's just is all it's doing is taking in people at these highs. So people trading this. If you pull the fib, maybe this is a nice fib retracement. Their stop losses are here. Low high, the stop losses are here. Low high, the stop losses are here. And then we finally tap into something, right? And once we tap into something, we're going to take out all this liquidity. And you see, we take it pretty rapidly. And we come into the breaker block of this area. One or two things, you could have just traded breaker block, or you could just put your stop loss above here. Either one would have been worth it. And then we would trade to take out this low. And also I want to take out the previous low, right? Because this was our inducement point. Is just this high, this low, the inducement point that the liquidity we want to take, and it's low. So our target is this low. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool.
sure.
Any questions on that so far? Like any questions on those three things? The highs, like the monthly and daily highs and lows, previous highs and lows, or any questions about like the weekly cycle, or any questions about this trend line?
I have one question.
Yeah. But I answered.
On the last sell, why would you target the lowest point of the market right there?
You talking about what I just said right here?
Hmm?
You talking about this low?
Yeah.
All right. So normally when we have what we call a breaker structure or a chop, right? This is the cause of people wanting to buy, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, simply that will be like a smart money trap. This would be the trap because we're not this would be the trap that everybody is looking to be called a breaker structure. So once this occurs, we're tapping into something that's strong enough to push the market back down. So that low will be the target because everybody be waiting for this to push up and become bullish. They get a little bit of something and then it breaks. So we look at that, and if I go to the 15-minute time frame, as you can see, we had a low, a high, a low, right? And once this happened, this is so-called a breaker structure, right? All this is just liquidity, and now we have liquidity here now. So now we're gonna take. So now we're just gonna take the high, and now we're gonna aim for the low.
All right, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, and all the stuff that I went over. I know I went over it kind of briefly, but it's all something that I'm gonna be making some videos on about. So y'all just kind of be patient with me and bear with me. I got a lot of videos to make because I already cover a lot of subjects already. So I got to start from the beginning, but it's all good, man. I'm here for y'all. So, but yeah, so yeah, today was kind of crazy. Like I said, I go to GU. GU kind of roughed me up today. I found some trades that I should have taken or could have taken, possibilities. So I don't know who all here that actually trade GU. Anybody besides me and UZ?
I traded.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay.
Not today.
Not today.
Not
Today was
Not today.
I broke some of my rules today. I'm human, so it happens. But these are trades that I found today. I didn't really quite pay attention to. But there was some strong lows under Asia range, right? Because Asia sometimes is liquidity. So that's why I wanted to bring that to y'all attention. Asia range sometimes has that liquidity like we talked about, and we had some strong lows that occurred under Asia range. So you can see that we had some like equal lows or whatnot, you know, all inducements or liquidity. And we had this last area that needed to be tapped. Again, at the Asia high was pretty strong though, right? You can see we had this last sell before buy. This is our break. That was our break. That was our first high. There's a liquidity, right? I kind of overlooked this, and I end up trying to take a trade here, not paying attention to here. So that was on me. That was my fault. Like y'all know I'm transparent, so I just keep it real with y'all.
Yeah, we love it, man.
Yeah, so you know, I keep it real with y'all. So yeah, I end up I was seeing this as some type of sweep, right? And I was like, okay, this high was strong. I didn't look deep enough that this was my push. This was my push that actually created this high. So really, like we talked about structure being fractal, this was actually the low that needed to be the low that was taken, and this was the high that needs to be taken. So that's my liquidity or my inducement point. So I got induced today. So yeah, so this was liquidity. That's how we could have gotten to this trade, sweeping this high because it broke structure. That's the first high. All right. As far as this buy, again, strong low, tap right into it. I would have never took this trade necessarily. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's not that clear for me that this would have been an entry. So I definitely would have been looking for a confirmation entry. This is something that, like this little point right here, I would have definitely been looking for something that mitigate this area to go higher. So with that being said, I took a break even right here because I took this trade. The market gave me a little cookie. I took quick little partials, break even, and then it took me out. It played with me a lot though. As you can see, it kind of tested my patience and then finally took me out. So I did lose there today too.
Yeah.
All right. But again, not paying attention to details. I was so worried about this buy playing out that I didn't pay attention to the details that was occurring. So we did sweep this high. Make this as a strong high. We have the break, right? And then what we talked about, remember I talked about these double bottoms, right? So the double bottom was enough energy to push this market back up, tapping right into IPOI. And that is what caused the market to actually go lower. And we didn't get the chance to go higher. At this time, I wasn't even paying attention at the market too much. But again, I was just so worried about these buys playing out at this point. Like the buy that I wanted to happen, like this buy into this area, into our breaker block area, that's what I was looking for. I was looking to, buy from right here and see the market take off to here and then get that sell. But it happened. It just didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. All right. So this is when I left GU alone. After that, I was like, you know what, GU, me and you cheating on me today. So I I went to gold.
Yeah.
So yeah. If we go over here to the 5-minute time frame, or you could use the 15-minute time frame, we did have a little bit of imbalance, but we also had the strong low that created, we had the strong low that pushed the market up higher. I still expect this low to go between today and tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. I definitely could see more bearishness. I think that this is liquidity. I mean, it's just a one break, one low. So I definitely could see this low as liquidity, right? I don't know if some of y'all think the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you
we
go
got
on the 4 hour, you
4
can
hour.
actually see there is a nice breaker block to rebalance.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
this is like an area I'm right now looking at.
Yeah, same here. So yeah, but remember, we still got this strong low right here too. Just to kind of, these wicks plays as strong lows and swept that liquidity. So that's an area to monitor, because we could come into it and that could give us a nice little pullback, and it could come here and then go up higher. Again,
for sure.
we'll be building this trend line, so we're gonna see how that plays out. I hope it does. That'd be real nice.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, so yep, we had this area, 5-minute area was being tapped. Also taking out previous days liquidity, like we talked about already. So we took out the previous day liquidity. That was just enough for the market to push up. Again, looking at this area, I definitely wouldn't have taken this trade, because again, it just don't fit my rules. We have the low, the high, which is minor. But I definitely like the way this happened, but I wanted to see this, right? I know more in the show, all of us wanted to see something like this and see how December, just not the month. I don't know what's going on, especially with GU. EU was pretty. It worked out perfect, but not with GU. As you can see right here, I didn't take this trade because I was done with GU, but I would have took a loss there as well. It would have been legit for me, but it still would have took a loss there, because as you can see, we had this high, this low, this last strong high, break structure or break that fractal structure point, create this high. This would be the targeted high for me. So I wanted to see the market come into that, come into this area, right? I wanted to see the build up, come into it, and then continue to go lower. We didn't get that either. So, but this breaker block played out, right? And it made the move. So something I'm gonna back test and see how we could have maybe gotten into that trade. But other than that, I just want to kind of stick to the rules. But yeah, GU was very sloppy to me, at least. What trades you end up taking? UZ, you say you took one.
I took. If you want, I can share my screen.
We have about a minute left, so I'm gonna do one more.
Okay.
I'm gonna do another call, and then you can share your screen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, since we got a minute left on this call, I'm gonna go over EU when we do the next call about all the crazy trades we could have taken. This exactly what I want to see GU do. Like, y'all see this, right? We tap the breaker block, we break, and we have this whole area as an auto block. It taps perfect, and then it's gone. That's an ideal setup. That's very clean. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Same thing happened on gold today. This is a trade that I took, right? We had the 15-minute we had the 15-minute balance point, right? We swept this high a little bit, but I still wanted to see some more balance. Once we did, I had the ideal setup. I mean, it was clean, right? You can see that this clearly swept the highs. We get a low, a high. I want to see liquidity get taken. Boom, it takes, and we gone. I cut my trade a little short here. I wanted to secure some profit. Plus, I don't know. I'm gonna point. One of y'all point this out? Why I took profit here?
Because it's a strong low.
Correct. So we had an area, and this would be like the liquidity. So this was a possible area for a pullback, which you did. We did get a pullback, but that's about it. But we got less than 1 minute, so I'm gonna start the next call, y'all.